let's continue to talk about IFS, internal family systems. What is unburdening from a part? So just a quick refresher in the idea of internal family systems. We all have different parts that manage different tasks. And sometimes these parts can be burdened with the tasks that they have for whatever reasons. There's multiple reasons why a part can get burdened with their tasks. And so this part of IFS is talking about what is unburdening. And truly, unburdening your part is the heart of the IFS therapy model. This is the step where exiles release the painful emotions, body sensations, and distorted beliefs they have been carrying. It's a pretty subjective experience for each individual and for each part. There is not one certain way that it occurs for each person. And so this is like a beautiful guide to support the unburdening process. And it's one that you may recycle through multiple times, and you may go back to step one and jump around to different steps as you work to unburden these parts. And so the first one is witnessing. A lot of our parts have been pushed away and have experienced the impatience for them, for their existence, and haven't been heard or seen for an incredibly long time. And so witnessing is a chance for this part, this exiled part of you, to tell your core self, that profound self energy that we all have, about its experience. This is often the first time the exile has been heard and seen with compassion, right? So when we refresh ourselves, and I'll link the video that I did about the 9 C's, and one of those C's is compassion. And so once we are invoking the energy of compassion, then we can create safety for these exiled parts to be witnessed by ourselves when we're rooted in that compassion. It's not a rushed process. Witnessing for some people can take several months. For others, it can be quicker. It really depends. It's a very subjective process for each individual. The second step is the do-over. So this is a chance for your center self. Some people call this reparenting, but there's many ways that we can label this and talk about it. And it's to provide a corrective experience by joining the exile in the past and doing for this part whatever it needed at that time. Often parts want you to advocate for them, defend them, or rescue them from unbearable situations. The third is retrieval. Retrieval happens after you have fully witnessed your part. As I said previously, full witnessing can take a long time, actually, especially for a part that has not experienced any compassion and hasn't been witnessed. There may be a lot of time spent witnessing, and that's okay. There's no negative to that. That's just what that part needs, and that is beautiful, actually, when we accept and recognize and move through that. And so this can, like I said, this happens after you're fully witnessed your part and help them do over whatever they needed. The exile then leaves the past and comes into the present. They can live with you or go to a fantasy place of their choosing, as long as they feel safe and comfortable. I want to preface this with, this is not the idea that we just get rid of these exiles, because that's what exiling them is. We are not unburdening them so that we can then hide them away. We are freeing them. And they may get touched. We have triggers. These are things that may touch our exiles, which may reactivate other things. Even with all the healing that we've done, it's not about denying your parts their truth, but it is working through a loving, compassionate relationship with your parts and giving more choice. Unburdening is both what we call this whole process and this individual step. This is a chance for your exile to release any painful feelings, body sensations, and negative beliefs from their body. This can involve releasing its burdens to the air, water, fire, earth, light, or anything else. This is really giving yourself permission to externalize this energy and release in whatever ways resonates with you. The fifth step is the invitation. This is a chance for the part to invite any qualities in place of the burdens that were released. These are qualities they may need or want for themselves going forward. Protector. And just to help with that question, sometimes we can get to that place by asking, what would this part be doing if it wasn't burdened with this responsibility? And there's a knowing that will bubble up from this part and share that with you. And sometimes nothing bubbles up, and that is just the message of, I wouldn't be doing anything, I'd be relaxing. Then the last step is your protector check-in. It's the final step in the unburdening process in which you invite protectors to notice the healing that has occurred. So the thing that happens often with many people, especially with trauma, is this exiled part is buried with other parts, buried with protective parts who have fear of the exile or discomfort or very protective of any furthering pain to that exile. And so this is your way to support these other not exiled parts, but your managers, your firefighters, these different parts that have managed the exile away, to also free from what they've been burdened with is management, right? And so notice the healing that has occurred. In light of this healing, they are still needed in the same way. Are they still needed in the same way? Would they like to simply rest, or would they like to try a new role in your system? So it is a freedom and inviting choice and release for a lot of different patterns and ways that things get solidified in our body and our system and our ways of functioning that are rooted in really important protective factors. And we're just re-evaluating the need for that level of protection with love, not shame, not criticism, but with compassion, care, curiosity, connectedness, courage, choice. Beautiful model. My fave.